All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to me. I don't know why I said that. That was really stupid. But anyways, it is good to be back. I was on vacation with the family, visiting family in Virginia. So that was kind of fun. But it's good to be back. Want a big thanks to Chris for holding down the fort while I was gone, and it is awesome to be back. Hey, if you are new to this channel, we talk Lions football, and we have a great community that's building. If you're not new, hit that subscribe button. And what are you waiting for if you haven't done it yet? We're trying to get to 20,000, and just a good base to have. Always love growing in subs as well. In this video, I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk, of course, the draft. I want to talk a position of need that nobody's really talking about. So one signing that I think we need to do before the regular season starts. And then, people are talking about it, let's be honest. So little draft stuff, one signing we need to make before the season starts, and then one draft trade that I saw that got me thinking a little bit about something we could do. So that's what I want to cover in this video. And the first one will start, it was at the back end of a mock draft. And what's kind of cool about this, over at Pride of Detroit, one of the things that they do is they every week talk about all the mocks that have gone to the Lions. So if we have time at the end of this video, we'll talk about all the players that were mocked to the Lions and at what position and things like that. But I want to start with what we're seeing here on a trade. All right, there was a trade that the Lions are doing with the Patriots. And I think this is an interesting trade, but I think we could do better. So it has the Lions moving out of the first round, getting rid of the 29th pick and moving back to number 34. The Patriots flat out have more money than the Detroit Lions going forward. They have a ton of money, actually. And so they might want to pick a future offensive lineman with that pick number 29, a guy that they could put in, that they could be a starter. Maybe it's a wide receiver that they're targeting for a young quarterback that they drafted with, I don't know, the 3rd overall pick. Something like that. They may want to move back into the first round to pair with their new rookie quarterback if that's what they do. In this one, the Lions would give up 29, but they would receive pick number 34, pick 103, and number 231. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing. 103 and 231. I think we could get more than that. I understand now there's these two charts, right? The Rich Hills chart, which means the Lions are favored in the trade, and they would gain an equivalent of a 3rd-round pick. And then pick number 163. And in the Fitzgerald-Spielberg chart, it would favor the Lions, and they would gain the equivalent of a 3rd-round pick. So number 75. Now, here's kind of the way I look at it. When I look at the Patriots, I say, okay, well, instead of pick 34 and 103/231, how about you give us pick 68? So pick 34 and pick 68. That's what I'd want. You move up into the first round, get pick 29. We'll get pick 34 and 168. And then I'll go ahead with the Lions, because this is what they have available. I'll go ahead and throw you 201. I'll throw you 164, 205. I'll throw you one of those. Don't you even worry about a thing. And then that way the Lions would be picking at 34, 61, 68, and 73. And it would be really nice to have that late second and then 2 more thirds. And I think that could be a really nice place. Go at the back end of round 2, early in round 3, get your starters. Brad Holmes has shown that he knows how to draft in that position. So that's the trade that I kind of wanted to talk about. And I think there is a world where you can find someone who wants our number 1 pick and will give us a 2nd and a 3rd round pick. Especially if that pick's later on. They might even give you a little bit more, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 6th, or something like that. So that is the one that's there. All right, so now the next one is a need that I think we need to take a look at. I don't think Badgley's been that bad. He's not badly, he's Badgley, right? And so I don't think he's been that bad at kicker. But I think what the Lions have missed ever since Prater. I mean, think about our kicking history, right? We had Elliott. It goes back to, right? And then you're sitting there, and then you have Jason Hanson, right? And it's just like, yup, I'm in on that. Jason Hanson best kicker of all time. I don't even want to talk about it. Get out of here with the other stuff. For when he played, what he did, absolutely unbelievable. Was the best kicker in the NFL at the time he played. So you can say all time, you can say whatever you want. I believe he was the best in his era. And then we have some struggles. We drafted, I think it was Freeze and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh no. And then we luck into Prater. And we're able to pick him up because he's released from the Broncos, and we have Prater for a while, and he settles our kicking game. Everything's good under him, and since him, it's been a problem again. So where to go? Because kickers have been found all over the place. All right, look at what the Cowboys did with their kicking situation this year. You just have different guys that are good in different places. It makes no sense. And the Lions, I think, have a guy they could look at, and it's UFL kicker Jake Bates. Don't tell me you haven't heard about this guy. He's kicking for the Michigan Panthers. And already this year, for the Michigan Panthers, he has kicked a 62 and a 64-yard field goal. All right, I am in with that. Right here, it says it already made a 62-yarder and a 64-yarder. Where? At Ford Field. Let's go. All right. It is expected, obviously, that the Lions are going to bring in a kicker. And it's expected that this guy is going to be targeted by multiple NFL teams. All right. Hey, let's figure it out. Let's look into this guy. All right. Let's look into this guy. Let's see what he can do. And figure it out. Let's figure it out. All right, so I'm in. All right, and he's he's been there. It's just very interesting what he's looking at. He seems like a guy who's kind of a late bloomer. He played for Arkansas. He was first team All SEC in 2022 as a senior. Sometimes kickers come out of nowhere and they find a way to make themselves much better or much more known late in their career. All right. So now I told you the last thing I would do. I just thought it would be kind of an interesting thing. With that pick 29, there was a lot of corners that were taken. On NFL.com, Cooper DeJean dropped to us. I think he's more of a safety, and I'm not saying it's because he's white, okay? I just don't think he's got the fluidity in the hips. Maybe he can be a great corner, and that would be fantastic. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Enos Rakestraw, I'm souring on him a little bit. I am. TJ Tampa, I'm growing happier and happier with. And then Tyler Nubin, I thought that was a very interesting pick for safety. Why not? And then, of course, you have your normal edge rushers. I don't know who's doing this where Latu drops to us at 29, but if he does, take him. Don't even think about it. Just take him right away. Jared Verse, Chop Robinson, those are all in the more edge rushing type. And then you have the edge setter guys that are the Darius Robinsons and Marshawn Nealons of the world. It makes sense to go offense there. You have, if Jerzon Newton is still available at defensive tackle, by the way, that's the only defensive tackle that was mocked to us, and it was through Fantasy Pros. So take it for what you will. I like Fantasy Pros for fantasy. But then you, on our guard market, our offensive line, Kingsley Salamataya, I'm saying that wrong. That, of course, is going to be brought here because it's Penei Sewell's cousin. All right, he's out of BYU. Jackson Powers Johnson, Erasmus Mims, Christian Haynes. There's a lot of guys there. So we're going to do more talk about that leading up to the draft for sure. But just wanted to kind of throw a draft trade at you and assigning the Lions that I think that they just honestly need to do before the season starts. Let's get a good kicker. All right, thanks for watching. See you.